Yerrr! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the YerrrPodcast, episode 120. It's your boy, Chelo, Xavier, human ever. To my right, my co-host, Mr. Dafridge.
Yerrr. I like this.
You like that
I
one,
like
right?
that. I like
It's
that.
a little different this time.
I like that.
I kind of jumped the gun because I introduced you.
No. That's fine. I do it to you all the time.
And to my left, it's an honor to have over at the YerrrPodcast, Mr. AEW superstar, Santana.
Yerrr.
There you go.
What's up, bro? What
How
up?
much did you pay him to do that? How much you saw he didn't want to do that so bad?
Yo,
So sorry. Man.
It's a New York thing, man. I'm with it.
It was a long, well, yeah. I mean, we already had the discussion beforehand. You already told me it was a long weekend. So,
Yeah.
as we usually started off, how was everybody's weekend, man?
I mean, it was all right.
Yeah, let's start with Santana.
I mean, it was
So sense in here.
Yeah.
It was tiring. I did a 2-day signing in Indianapolis. So
Nice.
Shit.
I was signing autographs and shaking hands for like 5 hours
That sounds
a
amazing.
day. Yeah, it sounds amazing. Nah, it's cool. I mean, I always get to appreciate the fans and coming out and just like, it was an insane convention. Like, I mean, I love doing those because I love seeing like the old school heads just get that love and appreciation and still, be into it and yeah, man, just seeing guys that I grew up watching and them still enjoy that praise and that appreciation. So it's pretty cool. And always, like my thing is always trying to give back to the fans because, without them, we ain't here. So, whenever there's an opportunity, I always try to make it out and do my thing. So
It's like you told me earlier. You're like, hey, what was it? Your wife said that you were tired and shit, and you're like, I got booked. I got to go. I gotta go.
I woke up late and she looked at me and she was like, "You really gonna go downtown? Take the train downtown and do this podcast?" And I was like, "I'm booked, yo."
Yeah.
I said, "You got to honor the booking." So that's one thing. Plus, it's with you guys.
I appreciate
Nah,
that.
Appreciate
yeah,
that, my brother.
definitely,
Thank you so much for
It's
Absolutely.
an honor to have you on, and it was dope to meet you a couple weeks ago, and it was just like, yo, I was like, all right, all right, when you meet people, everybody's different, but I was like, oh.
I'm sure there were better shows you could have done, right?
I'm a regular dude, man. I'm at heart I always say I'm a poor Puerto Rican kid from New York, and that shit
Nice.
that never leaves me. So I always try to keep myself grounded, and I'm thankful that my family always keeps me grounded. And as you know, like in any form of entertainment, it's so easy to lose your head and get caught up in a lot of stuff. But that's part of the reason why I chose to stay in New York and chose to stay in the hood and just represent. And
Definitely gonna get into that. Definitely
Yeah.
want to get into that further down the line.
How was your weekend, Fridge?
Oh man.
Yeah.
he's still recovering.
Nah, this man every week he goes like, "Nah, my weekend was boring. All I did was work." So like lately he's just been getting lit throughout the week. My weekends are fucking boring. Let me just have the best week ever.
I jumped the gun because I was on I'm on vacation now, my job and all
Spring
that.
break.
So yeah, they're on spring break, so I'm off and all that. And then so I've been just getting lit throughout the week, like just waiting because I was just waiting, like, all right, I'm just tired. So I've been going to work like till Tuesday, Monday, was tired, like hungover, whatever. But you gotta handle it, like, make it happen. So I went to a few spots, but I went to a hair fair. I was at Hair in Dykeman for a little bit.
Nice.
And then we met up with some of my coworkers for like brunch. It was actually my boss's birthday.
Okay.
So I got a chance to chill with them, and we went out, and I got a chance to see friends that I haven't seen in a while. And it's just like, when you get hype, all right, when you never seen somebody drunk before.
Oh, do I have stories to sell?
You never seen someone drunk, so it makes you want to get more drunk than them.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. I see you from 9 to 5. You're not like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're so much funner after 5. Like, yo, another one.
Why are you like this at work?
Yeah, like another one. And it's just like between the tequila, then I went from tequila to whiskey. It's never good to mix, but
Yikes.
I'm one of those that I'm like, you know what? I can handle it. I can handle it.
Yeah, of course,
I'm a bigger guy, but it's never good to mix. And then that morning, I'm just like, oh man. But Saturday, I went to see Andrew Schultz, the comedian.
Yeah, you went to the Infamous tour. I saw that.
Hey.
That was a good
Shout
show.
out to Andrew Schultz.
Yeah, that was a good show. Oscon was there too. It was dope. It was dope. That was a good show. Then I went to meet up with a couple friends. We had dinner. Then I went to Stumble to go see Eden for a little bit. And I meet up with you.
Notice Stumble was the name of the spot, or what you did to get there?
Just saying. That's what you do to get out of there.
All right.
Nah, this spot's called Stumble In. On the east side. On the east side.
There was a lot of stumbling going on there.
Oh, there was.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Not on my part though.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
You was
Every
like,
Saturday.
I was good. I was great.
And I broke out of there early though, because by the time I got there, I was just like, yo, I really didn't want to. I really was just gonna go home.
You could have just gone home. I felt bad because you looked so tired.
I was.
He was like, he came. First of all, he came with his duffel.
Yeah.
And that duffel was so fucking heavy. I was like, what is this? Your lunch? And that shit was like heavy, like unnecessarily. What is in that duffel bag?
His pajamas.
In case he needs to knock out somewhere, like yo, aquí que yo me voy a botar.
Just in case.
Speaking of knocking out, that's a story for another day. I'll save that one for later. But
Bueno.
What is in that duffel?
all right, that day I had.
That day.
That day.
Oh, sorry.
I had a couple shirts, and then I had like mad beers.
Oh,
In the
that's
duffel?
Duffel bag?
Never
Yes, I
mind.
don't.
That
But I
makes
had
sense.
mad beers.
Okay.
What a
You gotta tell people that, right? When you give them your bag.
Well, Stumble is like my other house. So
Well, you
know.
give people your bag though.
Oh.
You gotta be like, by the way, there's a very heavy object in there.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, so he just because he gave
He
it to
just
you
gave
over
it
the
to
table,
me.
just gave it to the
He was trying
side.
to give it to me over my table.
Yeah, because he was DJing.
I'm like, what the fuck? What is that?
Mind you, I'm one handing it.
Right. What was that? Like a 12 pack?
18.
Damn,
You
nigga.
see what I mean?
18.
Yo,
You
Pajamas and beers just in
you
case.
gotta be ready. You
What a
gotta. You
brother.
never know.
Yeah.
You know you were at a bar.
I know. I know.
Just making sure you knew that,
Yeah, well, the plan was to stay where I was at, but I went to come see you. That's the thing.
which is appreciated. So.
Aw.
Yeah. But it was lit. What's up with you, man? How was your weekend?
My weekend was dope. Friday, after Thursday's karaoke, it was a long night. That Thursday, and yeah, we know how it goes on Thursdays.
Yo,
But
I was about to come see you too if I didn't die.
nah, bro. And then Friday, I just went MIA. Like I did not post shit on social media because a pipe burst at work, so I ended up getting a random day off. So I was like,
look at
okay.
you.
Hey.
Awesome. I went out for like a quick beer, met up with my boy, toked up a bit. And then I had plans to meet up with some of my people afterwards, but then I was like, okay, let me go home, charge my phone. But wasn't it?
You know, it's never really a quick beer, right?
No.
never-
But well, in the afternoon, I had one beer. But
Just
luckily,
one?
my boy hit me up, like, oh, no, let's walk around. The weather's nice. Let's smoke up, whatever, frio. And then I get home to get recharge my phone. Nigga, when I got in that bed, forget about it. Nobody heard from me. I woke up to messages like, yo, this nigga's mad dead, mad quiet tonight. Like, yo, a night in is nice sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But Saturday was wavy. Celebrated my boy's baby shower. He's gonna be a father, so shout outs to him.
Congrats,
always-
congrats.
Hey.
And then a couple drinks and everything, and then I took a Uber to Stumble. And yeah, I would like to get into detail, but it's not about that anymore. I think it was just funny at the fact Actor bleep this. I was for the first time, so my experience was like, I felt like
Wavy.
I felt wavy, but the thing is that at the baby shower I was having a good time because it was like all positivity and everything was wavy. But then when I got over there, the only people I know is only Hector, Eden, and Fridge, and everybody else is just a stranger to me. So it's just like, but shout out to Hector though, because Hector dead ass went up to the bartender and he's like, yo, I don't know what he said to that bartender.
Shout out to James.
Yeah, and then he's just like,
Shout out to James.
yo, se anda conmigo. And I was like, all right, frio. But no, overall, good time, a great weekend yesterday, hanging out with Lee Burgos and I blame Society.
Hey.
I met his father yesterday too,
Oh yeah.
and we spoke about those plans that we have in
Future.
store. So yeah, great weekend overall, man.
It was
Great
fun.
weekend overall.
It was fun, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wake up a little bit.
Oh, my fault.
Not good.
Yeah. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because we don't got too much. Our main focus here is this man right here.
Yes,
today.
yes,
Our
yes, yes.
guest. But we always like to start it off with a little, how was your weekend? Ninja?
A little recap.
Word.
Yeah.
What you got first?
Santana, Puerto Rican kid from the Bronx. You more or less grew up the same way that we all grew up.
Mhm.
Give me a little backstory of, you, your family, your upbringing.
Yeah. Where
Every-
you from, bro?
Yeah. Just
I mean,
give us a little, intro.
damn. I mean, as a kid, things were really hectic as a kid. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. My mom was 15 when I was born, so as you could imagine, it was a lot of struggle, a lot of. Originally, I'm from the LES, A Street Avenue D.
Shout out to the lower.
Jacob Reese Projects all day.
I love the lower. I got so much love for the lower.
And we moved around a lot and stuff, but that's mainly like where I grew up and shit. And yeah, man, just being the oldest of 5 kids and single mother, so I had a lot of responsibility at a very early age. And yeah, man, like we from the LES when I was a kid, we moved to the Bronx in the 90s, and then was there for a bit, and then we moved to Harlem, and I was 142nd and Lenox, fucking Dipset territory, you know how it is. Yeah. And I went to school there for a bit. And then in the middle, I was there from like 3rd grade to the middle of high school. Then middle high school, we moved to Staten Island. And then I finished off high school in Staten Island. And then that's where I started wrestling school on Staten Island, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, like it was just, man, my childhood, like, it was a lot. It was a lot, I mean, I've never really gotten too into a lot of the things that I went through as a kid, but, it was a lot of struggle and I've seen my mom go through a lot of things, and I did anything not to be home. So I spent a lot of time in the street, and, I got into a lot of things and, experienced things and went through things that I'm not proud of, but it is what it is. At least I learned from it at an early age, and I was able to make my way out and better my life as much as I could. And yeah, man, like when I met Xavier, like we were teenagers, man.
Yeah,
like
we were chamaquitos.
Yeah,
bro.
doing backyard wrestling. Yeah. So we met through our mutual friend Eric, and we did backyard wrestling, and I started randomly. So at the time I had a girlfriend in school, and she was originally from the Heights. So I started going up there to chill with her, and then she ended up taking me to this park where a bunch of her friends hung out, and then introduced me to a bunch of people, and then those people introduced me to other people, and then that's pretty much how we met. But at that time, I was just like, I was running rampant in the street. It was a wild time. And I remember our mutual friend, so as a kid, like my mom was involved in a lot of things. My mom was a drug dealer when I was growing up and stuff. So I saw and witnessed a lot of things, and I was involved in a lot of things. But, I didn't sell drugs, but I got involved into a similar lifestyle that she had, and when I first got involved, our boy, like I showed up to the park, colored out, you know what I mean? And I remember walking into the park, and he just looked at me like, what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing, yeah.
And but nah, yeah, like it was a tumultuous time, and again, I did anything not to be home, and that's why we did backyard wrestling.
Yeah.
That's why,
The thing is, like, when you started showing up at the park, I didn't really know you at a personal level just yet.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh shit, okay, he could work, I could work, boom, let's fucking do this, let's entertain it. We're into wrestling, we're wrestling fans. And yeah, it was just an awesome time in that little park, man.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of craziness. Looking back, I'm like, damn, we really did all that. I was wild, man.
When did you become like a wrestling fan?
A wrestling fan?
Yeah. When did you gravitate towards it?
So I was 4 years old. My grandparents got me into wrestling.
Oh,
so
nice.
when I was a kid, like I said, my parents were young, and my dad was into wrestling when he was a kid. So all the VHS tapes that they would record of like the shows and pay-per-views and stuff, those are the tapes that I grew up on. So I remember I was 4 or 5 years old, and I remember watching WrestleMania 7. And the first match I've ever saw in my life was the Hart Foundation versus the Nasty Boys for the tag titles. And I could remember seeing Bret Hart come out in the Anvil, and seeing him wearing pink and seeing how badass he looked. And that was it. Seeing Bret Hart it changed everything for me. And that's when I was like, yep, this is cool.
And for those who don't know, Bret Hart is your favorite wrestler
Bret Hart
of all time,
is
right?
my idol. Bret Hart is the reason why I do this. Bret is in during a time where, in the early 90s, wrestling was still very cartoony. and very
back then,
colorful and all
Yeah.
these things. And Brett stood out to me because Brett was none of those things. Brett was,
He didn't have a gimmick.
what you saw was who he was. And I always, as a kid, remember like all his promos, and whenever he did like vignettes or whatever, he spoke about his family, he spoke about his values, he spoke about where he came from, he spoke about being proud to be Canadian, being proud to be part of this wrestling family and all these things. So it was so genuine, and that's what I gravitated to. That's why like what I do today is similar to that. Like I represent myself, my people, and where I come from. And man, like I was never into like all the comic characters like the Ultimate Warriors or the Hogans and all these people. Like that wasn't my thing. Bret Hart,
Goon.
the Goon.
Back in the day.
But Bret was the guy for me. He was like, yo, that's wrestling.
It's dope too because he's wearing pink, but he can fucking kick your ass in the ring.
Bro,
That's what I loved about
nobody
Bret.
will make Pink look badass.
Yeah, more badass.
Unless you
cooler.
Cameron.
I was gonna say before Cameron was Brett.
Shout out
but-
to Cam.
Yeah, but yeah, man, like he I'll never forget that. I was sitting in my grandparents' living room and just watching that tape, and I watched it over and over and over. And that's I got bit by the bug.
Yo, I miss the VHS tapes because like
Bruh.
when when I used to record wrestling and all that, I used to get the pay-per-view and then after the pay-per-view was 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you get the Raw right after for 2 hours.
That's why you get the 12-hour tapes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can record like
All
3 weeks of
3
shit.
weeks
on
of
it.
God damn. Then you distribute it like, yo, I got that. I
I
got
gotta
that.
send you a picture. I got like mad. I still got mad VHS tapes upstairs, like in my
Yeah.
crib
Same.
and my closet and all. Like I was like, I don't care. I know it's DVDs and YouTube and all the other shit, but I'm never getting rid of those.
Bro, I save everything. Like I still have a lot of my wrestling figures from when I was a kid.
I wish I still had those.
I still have a lot of VHS tapes, a lot of magazines, like so much. Like my girl's like, you need to cut it out.
Let's put it in a storage.
Yeah, but the thing with me is that I moved around so much as a kid,
Yeah.
and I've lost so much stuff. But those were the things that I made sure that I held close, and I always took everywhere I went. And I'm thankful that, I have a lot of that stuff, man.
And it's dope, dude, because it's like, yes, that's his profession, but he's always learning.
Yeah.
There'll be times we link up, I jump in the car, and boom, there's a podcast on. Like
always.
a 5-hour podcast, just, of
Always.
wrestling. So Mark and I mean,
No,
yeah,
it's all good.
we could bleed that. You don't want to expose his real
It's all
name.
good.
Santana and I, we met in the backyarding days, and I remember where he was more in the Staten Island circuit.
Mhm.
More like it was a lot of like traveling us, the guys from the Heights, going to Staten Island and just having a fucking ball, bro. And I wanted to more or less start the journey in where you started the indies after the Staten Island days. What other companies, who trained you? What other companies, that you were running through before you made it to the point where we should be getting to soon. But yeah, but like, how did everything start when it came to the indies and getting the bookings and traveling more and
So I like I said, I moved to Staten Island, I think 10th grade.
Okay.
And I remember I was in gym class. It was like a year after I was already there. And I wasn't like, at that time, I wasn't too much into the wrestling. I had, I was just, there's times when you're a kid and you're a teenager and you're just trying to figure things out and whatever. But I remember maybe junior year, I was in gym class. I was in the locker room, and this dude was changing next to me, and he was already a senior or whatever. He was just trying to make up credits. And he's next to me. He opens his gym bag, and I noticed like kick pads and knee pads, and I remember like looking at the corner of my eye, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, "Yo, yeah, so." Like being man nosy, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, it was wrestling stuff, so I was like, "Yo, and I asked him, I was like, "Yo, you're a wrestler or whatever?" And he was like, "Yeah, like I train at this place in Staten Island, like on the other side of the island or whatever. There's a wrestling school there." And I stopped him, and I was like, "Wait, there's a wrestling school on Staten Island?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah." And he started telling me more about it, and he was like, "Yo, if you want one day, I could take you and I'll introduce you to the, trainer and all this stuff or whatever. I was like, absolutely yes.
Hell yeah.
All about it. And then, one day he took me and it was literally on the other side of the island, Arthur Kill Road. And it was on a little warehouse, middle of nowhere. Like it was insane. I lived on Staten Island, right? And it still took me 2 hours to get over there.
Yo,
Staten Island's not that big though.
Oh my God.
But it's hard to get around on Staten Island because everything is buses and shit like that. So
Like that one time?
like that one time. but yeah, so he took me one day, he introduced me to the trainer. His name was Andrew Morgan, aka Magic. Shout out to
Shout out to
my
Matt.
trainer.
Dr. Magic.
And yeah, he was a local guy. He did a lot of independence in the local area or whatever. He was a big dude. He introduced me to him, and I told him, I was always interested in wrestling and stuff like that. We were talking, and I was like, "Yo, I'm interested in training. Like, I would love to, start training." And he asked me how old I was, and am I still in school, and all these things, and I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, before anything, before you make that decision, before I train you, before anything, I want you to finish school. I want you to get your diploma." And at the time, I was just like, bruh, just train me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then looking back, it was like I appreciated that so much that he cared that I finished school and that I, so yeah, I was like, yo, say no more. And I went, I got my diploma. I didn't go to graduation. I didn't go to prom. My family still gives me shit about it. And you know how Latinos are. They just want the pictures. They want you to, I was like,
The memories.
I was like, I'm good.
Mira cuando él cogió para el prom.
I'm good. But just to embarrass me. But anyway, so I got my diploma, and the next day, I went to him. I was like, "Here you go, sir," and the rest is history. And then after that, I trained for like a year and a half, and I was working. At the time, I was working overnights at a Checkers.
Oh shit!
Wow.
And that's how I paid for wrestling school.
Wow.
So I would train 3 days a week, and I would train from, I think training started like 3-4 o'clock. I would train to 10, and then at 10 o'clock, he would drive me to work, and I would work from 11 to 6 in the morning.
Wow.
And I would do that 3 days a week, and that's how I was able to pay him for it. And there was times where, like, I felt bad because, like, he didn't even want to take my money, and he was like, "No, you're good." I'm like, "Bro, like, this is your job. This is how," even though he had a regular job or whatever, but I was like, he's still taking time. You know what I mean? And, but yeah, and that was it. I started doing that, and a year and a half or so, he took me to another spot in Jersey, and I started training there because the spot in Staten Island ended up closing down, and we started training there, and then he was like, "Don't stop your training. Like, learn from," that was one of his biggest things. He was like, "Learn from everyone.
Yeah.
Wrestling is always changing. There's always someone that teaches differently, and you're able to learn from everyone." And he was like, "Go here, go there," and I went on the journey, and I started just trying to learn as much as possible.
Different styles and all that.
Exactly.
Nice.
So in that early time, I would go to the Ace Arena, which was another spot in Union City, Jersey.
Yeah.
I would train at another spot in, where was it? It was like right across the bridge from Staten Island. I can't really remember. I remember going to the Shikara Wrestling Factory once and getting trained by Quackenbush and stuff. And yeah, I was just moving around, just trying to get booked as much as I could. But at the time, like, I didn't really know how to communicate those things to like promote it. I was still very green, and so I would just show up and be like, always have your bag and just like, it's whatever. And then I remember leaving I moved out of my place at 18, and then I was just trying to work because I needed to support myself, right?
Yeah.
And I started paying rent, to contribute, whatever. So I was just focused on working and whatever, and wrestling kind of went on the back burner. And then, and it was just random. I got back into it, and I met up with my partner. I started work. So I had come back so I left to Puerto Rico right?
Okay.
I went to go stay in Puerto Rico for a while. And when I came back, I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. And randomly, there was like this random show. I ran into Ortiz. And we knew each other from backyard wrestling when we were kids.
Did you know him too? Or?
I only met Ortiz once personally at a House of Glory show.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
But before that, we were wrestling at this spot, 2KW.
2KW. Shout out to
in
them.
East Harlem.
Yeah.
And that's how we met. This was like, we met maybe
03?
2002, 2003, around
Yeah.
there. And, we went our separate ways. He got trained, I got trained or whatever. So we ran into each other at this random show. And we started talking. We linked up. And I was like, yo, I need a job. I just came back from PR. I'm broke, whatever. And he was like, he was working at a Borders bookstore. And he was like, yo, my place is hiring, for security or whatever. And yeah, I applied, I got hired, and all we did was talk wrestling every day, And then
That's dope.
and yeah, like we would go to different shows, and then he read Jericho's first book, and then
Lion's
The
Tail?
Lion's Tale.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yo, you need to read this book. I read it, and that's how we bonded. We were like, yo, that's the blueprint. Let's and there was a time where I started training in the Bronx too. I started really getting back into the wrestling or whatever. There was this spot in the Bronx in Hunts Point that I started training at, and there was an opportunity that
I know what spot you're talking about.
Yeah, there was an opportunity that came up that it was a tag team that I was training with. And they were like, yo, you got a partner? Let's try to do a match or whatever. And I was like, actually, I do. And then,
ding, ding,
ding.
Yeah, and then I called Ortiz, and the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
We had our first tag match in Hunts Point in the Bronx.
That's fire. That's gotta be crazy. Like two indie wrestlers doing security. Like, yo,
Yeah.
we talk about this, talk about that. Like,
Bro, we would get in trouble at work because we'd be on the walkie-talkie, and we'd be
Fucking wrestling.
talking wrestling, and our boss would be like, yo, like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Like, let's get it together here.
I know, like, I don't even know. I've only been, like, my first, like, indie show, I think I was, like, 13, 14. It was under my building on 135th.
Oh,
And,
nice.
Heretic was fighting.
Heretic.
Heretic.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
CCW.
CCW.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Wow.
My
my boy.
homegirl's brother.
He's
That's-
an LES original too. Original
Yes.
from the LES.
Yes. Lower East Side. He was telling me about the spot in the Bronx, and
Mhm.
I mean, I'm cool. I haven't spoken to him like recently, but that's my guy. But I remember seeing him wrestle, and then like he was always trying to shit. I told him I wanted to wrestle, but it was never like serious.
Mhm.
But it was like back in the day. But that was always like seeing that and see how excited he was and seeing other
Yeah.
wrestlers. That's just wild. And I know you said you were getting in trouble and all that stuff about
Yeah,
wrestling.
man.
And then the EYFBO, those are the same people that you met through that school in the Bronx, or when?
No.
did you meet?
That was your tag name, right?
That was our
your first
tag
Tag name.
Yeah, that was me and Ortiz's tag.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking about Pazuzu. That's
Yeah, that was a crew that
was the
we
crew's
formed
name.
Later, yeah.
Later on.
So what came first? Entertain your fucking balls off?
Yeah, that was first, and we pretty much so when we got together, the SATs, they opened up a school in Brooklyn, and then him and I started training there, and that's when we really became a tag team, and then we came up with that name. It was just a knockoff of LMFAO. They were hot at the time, and
Okay.
and
Man, that was a minute ago.
That's
Exactly,
word.
yeah.
You talking about
We're
LMFAO?
going-
We're talking about
We're going
2010.
yeah, we're going 10 years, bro. Yeah,
Jesus.
so that's how long we've been tagging. 10 years. Like a
and
marriage. Jesus.
yeah, and you guys were more or less touring together as
Yeah,
tag
yeah.
teams in the Indies, turning it up in the Indies.
Where's some places y'all went to?
Yeah,
Some
where
places,
are some places?
Well, in the beginning we were very local. Like we did New York shows with Jersey, PA, Rhode Island, just like mainly Northeast area.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
Just trying to get our name out as much as we could and get booked as much as possible.
Mhm.
And then we started working at this spot in Rhode Island called Beyond Wrestling. And then that's where like everything started like happening for us, because Beyond, the guy who ran that spot started booking us against like notable tag teams and putting us in good matches. And then we started getting more experience, and then like other promoters started hearing about the matches we were having there. So then they started booking us.
Nice.
But that was like, I say 2012, 2013 is when things started like picking up a bit.
Yeah.
You know, and we started getting recognized more, and yeah, it was a grind, man. And we drove everywhere. It was just hours and hours in a car.
That's got to be crazy.
Yeah, bro. Like
Beating yourself up in the ring and then getting in a car to do another show or do
bro.
something else. It's like,
it was a wild time. And then we were working, you know, so there was times I was working a 9 to 5. We're on the road all weekend, and Sunday night or like into the morning Monday, he would drop me off at work, and I'd work the rest of the week. You know, just go. You know, I did that for so many years, and but you know, like that's the sacrifice, that's the grind. You know,
when you took your first bump, were you just like, "Yo, what did I just do?" Or you was like, this is it?
Oh, So remember doing backyard, I was bumping in a park.
That mat don't
on
give.
a mat. So when I bumped in a ring, I was like, "This is great." Right? I was like, "Give me this all day."
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like it was I can remember that first like week of training where I was just excited to be in the ring and excited to be doing it, you know, and just like
did other wrestlers give you like backlash because you did come from like the backyard scene? And
I didn't really talk about it much.
Okay.
Like during that time, I was just concerned with just training and getting better and doing as much as I could. But
there was
a
that
lot of
notion.
at that time.
At that time, you couldn't really mention that.
Yeah, you didn't. You know, you didn't
He's a
talk
backyard.
about it.
He's a yarder.
Yeah,
I used to love watching it. Like I grew up in Harlem, so
yeah.
we used to it'd be mad random times. Like what's those channels?
MNN, bro.
MNN.
That's where I run. 2K.
Yeah, 2KW will end up there.
34, 56,
Yeah,
bro.
67.
Yeah.
A channel's like it's like that. Like you're just like and it's like I remember that part. That's in Harlem. Or that's the one in like
behind Manhattan Center.
Yeah,
that's where we used to.
Wild
Crazy.
time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
So you're going through the indies. You're going through this rise in your more or less in your indie career, and then 2017 comes and you sign to TNA.
Yeah, that was
Impact.
Yeah, that was crazy because, actually, you remember this? We were like, again, just trying to get booked as much as possible everywhere we could.
Yeah, yeah.
And we started working House of Glory, and we were doing good matches there and stuff. And then eventually, there was this show. It was like late 2016, I think. They booked us against the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys.
Yes, that was the night that House of Glory. I go and it's like when I see you there. And like, yo, this motherfucker's that is about to have a match with the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Private Party, who are also in AEW now.
Yeah.
That's when I was just like, nah, my boy made it.
Yeah,
I was like, my boy made it.
Yeah.
Tell me you wasn't nervous though.
Oh, bro, I was
That was your first time facing
pretty good
that?
Okay. I was pretty good at hiding it, right?
Okay.
'Cause I'm a prideful ass Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
But inside, I was like, yo, I used to play with the action figures. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I watched these dudes kill themselves, like, and I was just excited. What was crazy was that the week before that, not even the week, like that week, I had the most terrible stomach flu ever. Like it was so bad that I didn't think I was going to be able to do that match. Wow. And wifey was like, "You're going to get your ass up
and do that match,
and you're going to do that match, right?" Because she understood the significance of it.
Yeah, dude, it's the fucking Hardys, bro,
Yeah.
and the Dudleys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So she was like she nursed me back to health, and I remember telling Ortiz, I was like, "I'm sick. My stomach is messed up." We had these green tights, right? They were a shout out to Masawa. We had these green tights, and I was like, "Please, let's not wear the green tights because I'm scared of shitting myself." Right? So I was like, "Please, let's not wear the." And he's like, "We wearing the green tights because Masawa. Every time we wore those tights, we're gonna go in, right?" So I was like, "Bro, you're just setting me up for failure. You just want me to embarrass myself."
That's messed up.
So, anyways, so yeah, I was sick, and I was just like, "Just get me through this match, please. Just get me through."
How long did y'all go?
Huh?
I'm here looking at looking for a picture or something.
We went
All I
a
got
long
videos.
time. We went a long time, and we were winning.
You remember that picture?
Yes,
that was before the match. Like,
and we were winning. We were winning the tag titles, so we were winning the match.
Ah, okay.
So wifey was like, "Get your ass up and get to Queens to do." Anyway, so yeah, we were doing the match, and I remember us, putting things together, and I was just like, "Man, like this is really about to happen." So we do that match. And I guess, you know, it started circulating and people start, oh, they wrestled these guys, whatever. And then 2017 rolls around. We were still traveling as much as possible and doing stuff. And then Ortiz hits me. At the time, I had quit my 9 to 5.
Okay.
I quit my 9 to 5 September 9th, 2016. And I remember telling my partner, I was like, this wrestling shit got to work now. I got a family. I got bills. Like, this is it. I'm quitting my 9 to 5. I'm going to dedicate my life to this wrestling thing. And, you know, for those 6 months, we were wrestling 3 to 4 times a week.
Jesus.
Grinding, driving. That was before we started getting flown out to places. So we're just driving everywhere, grinding ourselves to the bone, man. And one day I was home. Wifey was at work. I was at home with my daughter. And in the middle of making her lunch, and I get a call from Ortiz. He was like, yo, so we had a joint email for bookings. So,
nice.
So he hits me up. He's like, yo, did you see the email? And I'm like, no, man, I'm at home with my daughter.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm telling
And he's like, yo, we got an email from Jeremy Borash.
Ooh.
And he was at work at the time, my partner. So he was like, you need to look at that email. You need to call this man back. So I'm like, I'm not calling nobody right now. I'm making lunch. Like,
it's family time.
I was in daddy mode at that time. So, you know, he's like, no, listen, please look at the email. So I look at the email and it was like, oh, you know, it's Jeremy Borash, reach out to me at this number. So I thought it was a joke. I thought I was getting ribbed. I was like,
that's messed up.
This dude ain't
yeah, he ain't for real.
I wasn't, you know.
He's a fan.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was a joke, whatever. But then I'm finishing lunch and Ortiz hits me back. Did you call? And I was like, yo, I'm about to call right now. Relax. So I hang up. I ended up calling the number. I pick up and I was like, hey, this is so-and-so. I got an email, you know, and he goes, hey, this is Jeremy Borash from TNA. And I was like, I was still skeptic.
You didn't recognize his voice when he first started talking?
Not really, because I wasn't really watching Impact at the time.
Okay.
So I was just, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking and he's like, yeah, you know, we got this opportunity. Are you free this weekend? And I was like, I guess I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I am now.
I am now.
So we talk a little bit. I give him some info and he goes, all right, stay next to your phone. In the next 15, 20 minutes, you're going to get a call from a 619 area code number.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. Well, you know, and I hang
still
up.
Skeptical.
Yeah, and I hang up and I'm still like, yo,
I don't know.
Who's ribbing me here?
Yeah.
And then 619, as you know, is San Diego.
Yeah.
But I never put 2 and 2 together.
Oh.
I would never, you know. So I'm there sitting with my daughter, having lunch or whatever. Sure enough, 20 minutes later, 619 area code pops up. And I pick up.
Here we go.
And I pick up and yo, it's K-Dog. And I look at the phone and I'm like,
K-Dog.
Who? And he's like, yo, it's Conan. What's good? And I was like,
shit.
Damn.
Because I heard Conan.
This is happening.
I heard Conan has like 8 different names.
Yeah, K-Dog, Conan, Chris. You know, it's a lot.
Everyone
Carlos.
calls it something different.
Anyways, but yeah, and then
it's K-Dog.
And then we just started talking. And then he brought up the idea of the new LAX. He was putting a new LAX together, and he had heard some reference from, shout out to my boy Swerve, Shane Strickland. He had gotten my number from him, and we were always good friends. And they were doing Lucha Underground together at the time. Yeah. And he asked Shane, he was like, yo, you know any Latino Puerto Rican brothers you know, that are good or whatever? And Shane was like, actually, I do. And he gave him my number or whatever.
Shout out to Swerve.
Yo,
Shout out to Swerve. And check out that episode if you haven't.
Yeah.
And then,
and then K-Dog found out we were from New York, so then he ended up hitting up Homicide. And Homicide has been our mentor for years, you know. So then he hit up Homicide. Homicide pretty much gave us the stamp of approval.
Nice.
And then that's when he reached out and we spoke and we were on the phone for like a good 45 minutes. And he was like, yeah, I want to bring you guys in. It's an opportunity. We're doing the new LAX thing. And I'm not promising anything but an opportunity.
Okay.
And then I'll never forget, one of the things that stuck with me was that at the end of the conversation, he goes, yo, before we hang up, all I ask from you is to always keep it real.
Mm.
And I was like, bro, we 2 Puerto Ricans from New York.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you need to worry about. We're going to always keep it real. And that's what's flourished our relationship, that we've always been able to keep it real with each other.
Nice.
But and then I remember hanging up the phone and I looked at my daughter and I hugged her and I cried.
That's not beautiful, man.
I hugged her because I was like, this could change everything. It's an opportunity to get on TV, to be on a bigger platform than what we were doing. And I understood the significance of it. And I remember just bawling my eyes out. And my daughter at the time was still, 2-3 years old. And she's like, Papi, why the hell are you crying?
Yeah.
And I just remember, I'll never forget just having that moment, just me and her in my living room. And just like, and at that moment before we even got down there, I was like, I'm going to make the absolute best and most of this opportunity. Okay. They will not forget us. They will not turn a blind eye.
When that happens, you have a conversation with Ortiz like, yo, it's
this
go time.
This is it.
Like, it's go time.
We're LAX was a huge thing for TNA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, we're going to make sure that we make it better. We're not going to be replacing these guys.
Yeah.
We're going to, over our dead body, we're going to make it our own.
And that's fire too, because like I go back to I remember 05 watching TNA, 04, and I was big on LAX as well, because they had those feuds with Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, those crazy banger of matches.
Hell yeah.
And I'm getting goosebumps right now because it's like, damn, I used to be a fan of this, but here's my boy doing it and being part of it. Like that's it. Yeah. That's his shit now. And talking about, the phone call and when you hung up, fast forward to when when you guys left, you guys ended up becoming one of the biggest tag teams. Like you and Ortiz elevated the tag team division.
We elevated that company, not to.
You're right. You're 100% right. Yo, because you guys were fucking over.
Yeah,
you guys were over. Like, and every week in, week out, any match that you put in, any program that you guys were put on.
Yep.
You guys fucking elevated the whole thing. You guys were the talk of the company when you guys were in the span that you guys were there.
Yeah.
And I think you guys won the belts 4 times. If I'm
four times. We were the longest reigning tag team champions
combined. It's
company's
insane.
History.
In the company's history. That's insane.
And then with that, like when we got that opportunity, of course, more people, we got more eyes on us. So that's when we started going to England. We started going to Germany. We started going to Mexico. We started, like 2017, 2018, bro. Was insane. Like I've never traveled that much. I've saw places that I thought as a kid I only see on TV,
Yeah.
And man, like we just traveled as much as possible. Because again, going back to Jericho's book, that was part of the journey. Like you had to travel. And that's what we always said. We want to become journeymen. We want to be able to say like we could hang in any country. We could go and wrestle their style and be great at it, and we learned so much from so many guys and had so many amazing matches. Nice. But getting to see the world at that time was awesome.
That's a beautiful thing. Do you have any crazy stories with Conan?
So we went to Mexico, to Tijuana. We went to do some shows over there, but then we were filming like vignettes at the same time for Impact TV.
Nice.
So we ended up going to a bunch of like strip clubs and all this. It was insane. So I don't want to say crazy. It was more of like eye-opening we were riding around Tijuana and Tijuana is where Conan pretty much made his name and became a superstar.
Yeah.
And just riding around in the car with him, and we're sitting in the back, he's in the front seat, windows are down. And this guy was like God. Like there was points we're driving through the street and we weren't able to drive because people are running to the car and like it was just I've never seen anything like that.
Nice.
And I'm just sitting in the back. We're sitting in the back, and we're like, "Yo, this dude is like the Pope over here." You know? Like, everyone wants to touch him or take a picture, and Conan is a humble dude, so he's stopping, he's taking pictures. You know what I mean? So, but that was a wild time, man. That was like, it was awesome seeing that, and just like one of the things that I always love and remember is every time we were standing behind the curtain ready to go out, and you know, our theme song had gunshots in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And every time those gunshots went off, just seeing Conan go, "Let's fucking go," and just see him get hype would get us hype.
Yeah.
Because at that point in his life and his career, you know, he's an older guy, and to still see him have that love, passion, and that energy, bro. Like, we would always tell him, stand in front of us because we want to see it. Don't ever stand behind us, because that's the shit that's gonna give us that adrenaline boost, you know. So
yeah, he was the leader too. So it's like, yo, he's guiding the next generation of LAX. You know what I mean?
And then having him and Homicide too. Homicide was there with us.
Yeah, shout out to Homicide.
Yeah, and we did some great things, man. We had a lot of fun. You know, it was a great time in my life, great time in my career. I learned so much from Conan. I still learn, like, we still keep in touch. I text him this weekend, like he's constantly, you know, offering advice and like, yeah, he's like a wrestling dad, you know what I mean? And
he always praises y'all.
Always. And yeah, man, it was just a great time. That was a great time.
So your contract expires in TNA. AEW is just starting up.
Mm-hmm.
What was the decision making between you with you and Ortiz? What were the conversations like between you two about what's next?
Was there any like,
you know, was there any
NXT interest? Or
like they were going after us hard. Like, that was a special time because we got multiple offers from a bunch of different places.
Nice.
So it was like, it made us feel good because we were like, damn, we did something, you know, that everyone is after us, and we have so many options and offers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing with WWE is like, we knew that if we went to WWE, we were gonna be on the road constantly, right?
Yeah.
Like, that schedule is not a game. Like, that's not for, like, you don't half-ass going to WWE.
Yeah,
you're in and you're all the way in, you know. And we knew that. And then AEW was starting up, and they were offering a much lighter schedule. And you know, also we looked at it as the opportunity to be a part of something new, something fresh, and be a part of like that ground foundation of building this company. Like, but with all that, our Ortiz had just had a kid too at that time. And my daughter was still very young. She was maybe like 3-4 years old. And our biggest thing was that we wanted to be dads. We wanted to raise our families. We wanted to be home to see our kids grow. Yeah. And we knew that if we went to WWE and got into that schedule at that time, we were never going to be home.
Well, it's still like that. It's still crazy.
Yeah, it's still crazy. You're on the road 5 days a week. Yeah. Like, it's nonstop. It's insane, yeah. And but that was like the main thing, is that our family is everything. For me, family is everything. Like, I honestly, like, I've even told my, I'll give this up tomorrow. If my daughter looks at me and be like, "Papi, it's a wrap," like, that's it, you know.
Yeah.
And but that was the main thing. Like, I wanted to be there for her and watch her grow. And I didn't want to get to a time where it was like my daughter's already older, and she looks back and she's like, "Damn, my dad wasn't around because he was busy." Yeah, I was supporting. Yeah, I was, you know, making sure that she lived a good life, but presence is everything.
Yeah, presence.
Of course, yeah.
You cannot, you can't make that up, you know. And I refused for my daughter to grow up not knowing who I was, or not seeing me often, or not, like, I wanted to be a dad, you know. And yeah, that was the ultimate, like, decision maker. And then, you know, with AEW, we wanted to be a part of history. Like, they told us, like, we're going to be in the first ever main event of the first ever Dynamite.
Yeah, that was
teaming with Chris Jericho.
Exactly.
Where everything just went full circle, because Jericho's first book is what me and Ortiz bonded over. Mm-hmm. So we were like, yo, everything just came full circle. So we're going to go here, we're going to do this, and we're going to just see how it goes. And hopefully, you know, everything goes well, you know. And everything's went well. We did some amazing stuff. We're still doing some cool stuff. And but yeah, man, I remember when we made the decision, we were in a Walgreens parking lot in Puerto Rico because we had a show there, and we're literally about to call back Triple H and Regal in the car, and we got it on the car. Okay. And so before everything, I already came up with a whole speech in my head, what I was gonna say, how I was gonna, and then,
totally didn't pan out that way.
So yeah, so I call Regal back, and I'm getting ready, and he goes, wait. Before you say anything, have you signed any contract? No, we haven't signed a contract. Give me a sec. I'm gonna call you right back. He calls us back like 5 minutes later, and it's him and Triple H on the phone. And they were like, what do you want? Like if you want to stay in New York, you guys could stay in New York. Like you don't have to move down to Florida. You know, like
that would have been NXT though, right?
So they were like, you'll do a couple of months of NXT and then bring you up to the main roster. And it was just like they were making it very difficult for us.
They really wanted to.
They
really wanted you guys
and,
there.
And it felt good.
And that's a great feeling.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like, bro, you're making it so hard. Like, But anyway, so we didn't sign a contract yet, but we had already given our word to Cody. And Cody he's the one who gave us our job.
Nice.
Okay.
And
nice.
We had already given Cody our word. And, as your word is everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we could have been like, oh, whatever, we'll go here, go to WWE, whatever, but our word was everything. And yeah.
What's that like now, you working with Jericho now? Like, well, not just working with Jericho, but working with so much talent that you grew up with. Like, and I'm pretty sure you go down your phone, your contact list, and boom, I could just call this person now. I could just text him. I could do this. Like, how is that feeling now as opposed to, growing up? Because of course, growing up, you only see them on TV. You could barely, but now actually knowing them as human beings, like I'm pretty sure that's mad beautiful and mad dope.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like I ultimately, it just makes me feel like I did it.
Nice.
Like I did it. I made it. Like and it's funny because when we were grinding on the indies, like I didn't expect any of this shit to happen. I was just like, I want to make enough money to support my family. I don't care where we're at. I don't care what company we do it in. I just want to be able to live and sustain ourselves. And, getting to work with all these people and see all these people and become friends with them and get to know them is like, it's a good feeling because it makes me feel like, like you're in the right place. You're at the right level. You're, and just getting respect from all these guys and stuff like that. It's a great feeling. Being able to sit and talk with guys like Dustin, guys like Jerry Lynn, guys like Jericho, Dean Malenko is my heart.
Yeah.
That dude, like I've sat with that dude for hours and just like get advice, and he's so giving and so willing to help and like Jerry Lynn also. Jerry Lynn has gotten me through some dark times. When my dad passing and all these things, like is a good feeling. It's a good feeling being able to call a lot of these people that I grew up watching friends and
nice.
and work with them and man, is like all the hard times and all the struggles and sacrifices paid off, and it feels cool.
So we're closing down on time for a bit. So just quick rundown, just to talk to us about. I'm repping it right now.
Born nasty. So it was this concept I came up with. I have a very entrepreneurial like attitude and the way I look at business. I'm very I like to call myself creative and things like that. And like I just wanted something different. And the whole Born Nasty name came from like nasty is a very has a broad meaning, right?
Yeah.
But as a New Yorker, as a dude that grew up listening to hip hop and all these things, nasty is like that's the highest level of greatness. That's like you like the illest. Nasty, you know what I mean? So I the whole name came from me truly believing that we're all born with something. We're all born with a talent. We're all born with a passion. We're all born with something. We all just have to find it.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And that's why I was like born nasty. And yeah, like me, my uncle, and a few other guys. Shout out to Blossom 89. Shout out to my boy fucking Artie Caves. We came up with a bunch of ideas and like, yeah, let's do a clothing brand and just do cool stuff. I haven't dropped anything in a while because it's been kind of hard with like the whole war thing going on, and manufacturers are like, it's just been crazy. It's been wild. Plus, I've been dealing with my own personal things, but yeah, it's something that I'm gonna continue trying to build, and it's something I'm passionate about. So yeah.
Well, you let me know whenever.
I got you.
I need that on deck. I'll pay for the extra fabric. You let me know, man.
I got you.
I wonder, how is it? I mean, obviously you're a New Yorker and all that, and I'm not gonna say where you live, but we don't know where you live and all that. But how are you still in New York? Like, how you not made that move to Florida yet, bro? Like, or like. I get it. I told myself I never want to leave New York, but I'll be like in December, I'll be like, it's kind of cold, bro.
Yeah, so for me personally, man. I need the seasons. I need the change.
Okay.
I need the every 3-4 months I need my environment to be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not like, even though I think Puerto Rico would be the only place that I would actually move to. But I can't, like, Florida is way too humid. And there's too many wrestlers in Florida. I don't like a lot of wrestlers. I'll just keep it a buck.
Who don't you like? No.
I'm gonna keep it a buck, yo.
Back to where you at.
Yo, I don't like. I don't know. Like I like being in my own bubble. I'm very like, especially after my pops passed away. I've drawn back a lot. Like I've just been. I spend time with nothing but family. I spend time with you guys here and there, but yeah, ever since my pops passed, like it just. I always say the person that I was before he died with him. And I'm now figuring out this new person. And just like I've realized that, like, before I was very social and I just wanted to be accepted in different circles. And now I'm just like, fuck out of here, B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't forget where you came from. That's
but I never forget where I come from.
Yeah.
And I want to show people from where we're from that, like, it's possible. It's possible. Like I came up with the same struggles. I came up with the same, like, I shouldn't be here. I should not be here. Like I spoke about this on the AEW podcast. Like there was a certain moment in time where it was like I could have either been dead or in jail. And I'm thankful that I learned from it and I chose to better my life, because there's so many guys out there that have no hope. They have no nobody to be like, yo, like, you could do better for yourself. You could do this, and for me, I wanted to be that person for a lot of people. And that's why, like, it feels good being in New York, and like, also I take care of my grandparents and I need to be close to them, and family is everything, like I said. So keeping us all together and yeah. And then when my pops passed, I was in Florida, and just that experience of having to travel from there, from work, to come here and handle all that, and just like that experience, I'd never want to experience again. And yeah, man, like New York City, yo, all day.
Got you. When you do, we about to wrap. I got like 2 more questions.
Yeah.
I got this big ass question. What's your favorite way to fly these days?
Favorite
airline?
fly?
Yeah, favorite airline. Yeah.
Oh, Delta first class all day.
Okay.
I ain't playing.
That was quick.
I ain't playing.
That was quick.
Yo, real quick, bro.
So if you want to get booked, Delta.
Yo, B, my knees and my back are shot.
So no JetBlue at all? No JetBlue?
JetBlue?
Yeah, I like JetBlue.
Bro, I even fly the PR on Delta, bro.
We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
I'm just,
All right, Delta, first class. We got it. Hardest ring you ever took a bump on? We asked
hardest ring.
Yeah, we asked Swerve for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Swerve this.
Let's see if he has the same answer.
Hardest ring. Damn.
Like what's the worst ring to take bumps on?
Hardest ring. Damn. We did a random show in like Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Something. And that ring was just like, I was
Stiff.
like, bruh, just take away the ring. We might as well wrestle on the floor.
Oh, matando en el piso.
Yeah,
Dimensions
for real.
bangers.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, let's wrestle on the floor because, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And the CZW ring was pretty stiff, I
Yeah.
have to say.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
I don't
Swerve
know.
said that Mexico
He said-
ring.
oh,
Mexico ring.
bruh.
Yeah, because
Yup.
they don't fucking budge. They just.
Yep. In Mexico, why you think everyone, like in Lucha Libre, is all rolls?
Swerve.
Ain't nobody bumping. And then our smart asses go to Mexico for the first time, and I want to do this crazy dive or this crazy thing into the ring. And I was like, why did I even do this? I do it. But yeah, Mexico has the hardest rings ever.
I forgot what podcast I heard you say this on, but I know you can do it. But are we ever gonna see you do a superstar press?
Listen,
I had to ask that.
you know, it's funny. It's funny because my partner, like a few months ago, he was like, yo, I think it was the match we had with FTR. He was like, so you busting out the 450? And I look at him and I was like,
This nigga hasn't done a 450 since fucking.
bro, I was like, do you care about me? I was like, do you care for my well-being or my life?
Yeah.
You know? And he's always, because, you know, I'm not to brag, but like I'm able to do a lot of, you know, high-flying shit. I just, longevity now. I want to do this as long as I could,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And, but yeah, if I don't need to do it, I'm not going to do it.
There you go.
So we're not seeing it no time soon.
I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Who
Who
knows?
knows?
If the moment calls for it, then you might see it. If not, then you're not.
If you do, I'm gonna lose my shit.
But yeah, like that's why I haven't. Like I remember we were, you know, before the shows, they have the ring set up and all the boys are, you know, messing around in the ring, and I was just I pulled off a 450. They had the crash pad, right?
Mhm.
And I did a 450 in Tim's, and everybody's like, "Why don't you do
Bust
any of this?" And I'm like, "Because I don't need to. When I need to,
I'll pull it off.
You pull
it'll
it off.
happen. And when it happens, everybody will lose their shit."
Like it was this
There you
shit.
go.
There you go.
Well, last question we asked. First I want to thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
off. I appreciate you so much. Thank
Before you ask him,
Uh-oh.
so I am not any more proud than having the very first action figure of Santana. So that's why I was asking for pen. I chill with this man every week.
That's probably not going to work on it.
Not gonna work. We could do it on the side or
Is there
something.
a black
Yeah.
marker? Or a red might work.
Ah,
Red
man.
might work.
That works.
Where'd it go? Oh,
That's pretty cool.
that's why I was never meant to be a baseball player.
And now we
There
got
you
that.
go.
Thank you, Eddie.
Definitely work.
And I know your hands are probably crippled from this weekend, but just one more signing, please.
That's all.
I highly appreciate it.
That's crazy.
On the Year podcast.
On the YerrrPodcast. I had it since I pre-ordered it, and then it's just like I see this man every week. I chill with him every week, and it's just like, nah, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this right.
You know, I'm the first wrestling figure in wrestling history to come with a Puerto Rican flag.
That ass.
Really?
That ass.
Let's go.
that's fucking fire.
Representing.
That's never happened.
That is
And
fire.
then sorry to go long. I know we got to.
Yeah.
But my grandmother was in PR last year, and she went to Walmart.
Nice.
They had a bunch of my figures in Walmart in Puerto Rico.
That's fire.
And I just remember thinking like, yo, kids in Puerto Rico get to go to a Walmart and get a figure of someone that looks like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's moments like that I always try to think about and be like, yo, this is cool. Like I do some cool shit.
Yeah, that's when
But
you,
yeah,
when
I
you
was-
see that, you're gonna be like, yeah, it's fire.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's pretty
Yeah. Like, yo, I appreciate it so much, man.
Hell yeah.
So, as he signs this, we asked the last question
Yep.
that we asked everybody. Every guest has been on this podcast. Have you ever had a chopped
you.
cheese before? And
Have I
two-
ever
Have you ever had a chopped cheese before?
First of all, I'm gonna let you finish the question.
Okay. And two, where'd you get the best one and what'd you get on it?
First of all, I feel mad disrespected that you asking me, the illest New Yorker ever, have I ever had a chopped cheese? Right?
Right.
Yes, I've
Right.
had a chopped cheese.
Okay.
At one point, I was eating a chopped cheese. I'm not proud of it, but like every other day. So the best one that I've had has to be, I'd say, maybe the original 110th Street
Hodges.
No,
Hodges?
is it Hodges?
Yeah, 171st.
Yeah, 110th
Hodges.
first, bro. Like that has to be the best one. And then also, I used to live next to a bodega in the Bronx, on like by Crotona Park. That this papi hooked it up, bro. Like it was awesome. But, bro, like salt, pepper, ketchup, some lettuce.
The basics.
Yeah, the basics, man. Maybe a little bit of mayo.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit of mayo. And the bread has to be crispy.
Toasted.
Has to be toasted. Has to. And no roll shit. Always on a hero.
Always on a hero.
Always on a hero.
Somebody, thank you. Chopped cheese has to always be on a hero.
Has to.
I don't know how people always get on the road. That's disgusting.
Not only that, how does that fill you up?
Exactly. I wasn't gonna say, I was gonna say that part, but yeah,
bro.
appreciate you for that.
Yes, sir.
So where can people find you? Where can people find your clothing line for the next drop?
So for the next drop, we're at Born Nasty NYC on Instagram. Also bornnasty.com. You can find me at Santana_proud on Instagram and on Twitter. I don't mess with Facebook like that anymore. It's mad outdated. But yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me. Or randomly, walking the streets of the Bronx or the LES. You could always stop me and I will.
With Freaky
slap you
Fridge.
Yeah, Freaky. Yeah, yeah.
The only two fridges in New York. You know what I'm saying?
But like it, and that's another cool thing, man. That like walking around in the hood and getting recognized and people just showing love and appreciation and just like I love that, man. Like for the people, always. Like that's my thing, man. Like I'm proud that like, especially in the LES, my grandparents, my grandmother came to Lower East Side in 1968. She has not left. She's still there.
Yeah.
And she's seen every iteration of that neighborhood, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And yeah, man, I'm proud to say I'm from the LES. I'm proud to say that I represent the Bronx. Yeah.
Let's go to Hair the Dog. I read the Hair the Dog.
Hair the Dog, Orchard Street, right?
Yeah, we out over there.
But yo, also before anything, shout out, rest in peace to DJ K Slay, aka Desi Dez. Man, like, dude is a true pioneer, NYC hip hop, graffiti. Like, I woke up to that news and I was like, damn, man, this is terrible. But yo, shout out to him and all his family and
thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, man.
So for the one time,
this has been episode 120.
Yes, sir. For the one time, can I get a year real quick?
Yerrr!
Nice.
That was good. Yo, would you suplex me?
Yo. On this table?
On this right here?